If you over 35 and still rapping, keep rapping, my boy. Keep going to that studio. Fuck all of that, oh, I'm getting old shit. No, we need y'all. We need y'all to save music. We need the real lyricists back. We need the ones that, I'm saying, when music had a message, I'm saying, made an impact. Where when you listen to a song, you felt that shit. I'm saying, it spoke to you, talked to you. We need that. So if you're 35 and up, keep rapping up. Keep fucking going, because we need you out here.
This is for the black, white, brown, and beige. Never tell me to act my age. Bitch told me to act my age. That's when I let his ass out the cage. Here come the rage, blast like a gauge. Bitch told me I was going through a phase. Oh, you confused, going through a maze. Before you read a nigga up, bitch, I turn the page, I keep it moving. Yeah, church on the move. Only get worse when I'm finna act a fool. Old school, don't play by the new rules. Old school, slap the shit out of nephew. Fuck a prank, I don't play, boy. What the hell, boy? This is Uncle Elroy. Still with it, still wild, real loud. Still only fuck with the real crowd. Yeah, homie, you a real cloud. Sitting there quiet as a church mouse. Told me I was immature. How? When I own the store wearing velour, bitch. This is for the black, white, brown, and beige. Never tell me to act my age. Bitch told me to act my age. That's when I let his ass out the cage. This is for the black, white, brown, and beige. Never tell me to act my age. Bitch told me to act my age. That's when I let his ass out the cage.
I don't give a fuck where you from, nigga. Take your ass back if you love it that much. If not, shut the fuck up. You niggas ain't built no different. You talk that shit and don't listen. We can all act ignorant. Bring the guns out. I'm a vampire when the sun's out. I'm from the streets, I got to act that way. Steady fucking with me, telling me to act my age. Back up out my face. I ain't like these dudes. I'm finna fight this nigga. I'm about to light this steel. The fuck they thought I was just gonna talk, let that whole shit slide. Now that ain't my style, so that ain't gon' ride. So it's on sight. Empty out the whole clip. Now it wasn't your night. I'm an OG, nigga, you don't know me, nigga. I'm as solid as the one that came before me, nigga.
This is for the black, white, brown, and beige.
Never tell me to act my age. Bitch told me to act my age.
That's when I let his ass out the cage. This is for the black, white, brown, and beige.
Never tell me to act my age. Bitch told me to act my age.
That's when I let his ass out the cage.
I've had some ups and downs. Who would've knew that I would make it this far? All of my life they did me wrong. Time after time they left me alone. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I've done some wrong, but by myself I stood on my own. Without no help they wouldn't pick up the phone. Cause they did me cold. Some things that I would never say. Like I'm hurting, but I'm hurting. I ain't perfect, but I pray that I see better days. Yeah. And if you love me, why you let the niggas hate on me this way? I need a break. Yeah. He told me I gave you a gift, and with that gift I hope you change the world and elevate. So fuck who never stay and separated. Sometimes I gotta keep it real and tell them how I feel. Yeah, but they don't seem to understand. They God gave me a second chance, yeah. Second chance. And I don't need nobody, just gon' get my money. Down on my knees, I got a blessing coming. Cause he gave me a second chance, yeah. Second chance. No matter what today brings, I'ma always keep my head up for the days that I got fed up. Been through the storm, I felt the rain. And every time that I had prayed, I felt like I never said enough. It's like I'm talking to the wall. Got on my grind when I fell out. My stomach empty, I was hungry. I never crossed none of my doubts. And never fuck none of they bitches, cause that's law. I'm 100. You gotta feel me when I say this. I was so broke, I'm tryna find a bitch I can stay with. Long as my dick good, little mama gon' let me stay with her. and drive her car tomorrow when I drop her out for the day, nigga. Sometimes I gotta keep it real and tell them how I feel, yeah. But they don't seem to understand. They God gave me a second chance, yeah. Second chance. And I don't need nobody, she gon' get my money. Down on my knees, I got a blessing coming. Cause he gave me a second chance, yeah. Second chance. He took me out them streets, I'm saying. Got on my knees, that's when he put me on my feet. Hey man, I was so down that I couldn't barely get no sleep. Hey man, I felt so weak, yeah, but now I'm up, yeah. Second chance. He gave me a second chance, yeah. Second chance.
What's good? Can y'all hear me? You know, it's been a minute since I've been on this stream, y'all. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna keep doing this. It's just an idea right now. So that's why I ain't even paid to do the logo shit and none of that. Well, salute everybody that's tapping in with me, man. I really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Sabrina, Book, you know what I mean? Who else in here? Boss Lady, Thomas Bradley from Louisiana tapping in. Thanks, appreciate you. Keisha, Regina. How do I say that? Mina or Miney? You're going to have to correct me on that, but I appreciate you being here. Nia K. Fuji. Okay, that's LSA. All right. Of course, Queen 88, and as y'all know her is, Lucky. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. I just decided, you know what I mean? Like, Minnie. Okay, Minnie. All right, Minnie, my bad. Well, thanks for being here. Bella B as well. You know, a lot of people know me as FARRAGO because, I got to explain because some of my partners, they'll be checking this out as well because I have got a few calls earlier. And, from the Mo3 sector, basically, and they don't know what that is. So explain to them, it's a sector basically of YouTube content creators and subscribers or whatever, and people like, tap in ever since the passing of three, long live three. And so a lot of people know me from there as FARRAGO, you know what I mean? Hey, Gemini Rule, thanks for being here. And so that's what I go by here. But my partners know me. Even these other people know me. My name's Corey, and I got daughters. They content creators. Simply Cherish T, Queen 88, and CB. You know what I mean? And we done had all type of narratives and fallouts and all type of things on this app. You know what I mean? And I'm always placed in some difficult positions with that type of stuff. So I say, plus narratives have been created about me. All type of things have been said, you know what I mean? My incarceration and just, outright just terrible things have been said. And fix what? 8 what are you talking about? But I said, you know what? I think, because I got another page or whatever. It's called Racist Entertainment. You know what I mean? Hey, the Pisces. It's called Racist Entertainment. And I normally try to cover like things that I consider important, dealing with politics, religion, things of that nature. And I pretty much don't dibble and dab and just things that be on my mind when it comes to I guess you could say what goes on in the sector, what goes on, how I really be feeling and thinking about stuff, trying to be politically correct. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get on my own shit, you know what I'm saying, and get more personal about my life, really tell how I feel, show my struggles, talk about my struggles, talk about things that goes on with my children, all these type of things. And maybe somewhere, within this whole going live thing from time to time, and there may be a message in there that might help somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Because personally, people that know I have been incarcerated for approximately 25 years, you know what I'm saying? And I always would hear, you need therapy, you need therapy, you need therapy, you know what I'm saying? And I tried go talking to these one people before, and it's like I wasn't getting anywhere. I went to talk to some other people and wasn't getting anywhere. But I found myself more or less listening to individuals, on this app or whatever, and I could get things from it. It's a lot of negative stuff to go on or whatever, but I also got things out of it. I also, some of the things that were said or were being done resonated with me, and it automatically took me back to, childhood situations or whatever that shaped and molded me and possibly gave me an understanding of those individuals. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna use this, not only therapy for myself, but as well as try to help some other people. So I said, let me try to crank this FARRAGO channel up, and that's what I'm doing. What's up, Texas 713? What's up? And so basically, that's what I'm here for. Selena, however you say it. Thanks for being here. Normally on my other channel, Racist Entertainment, 1999. You know what I mean? If you haven't, go subscribe to that channel. But normally, everything will be scripted. I have things written out and videos to show and all these type of things. But Joe So Blessed, thanks for being here. But I said I'm not gonna do that with this, man. I'm just gonna speak, speak from the heart, speak from experience, speak from knowledge, and basically go over whatever, But I'm always gonna incorporate, you know, parts of my life. It may not be in a linear fashion, far as going from childhood to this stage, that stage, this age, so on and so forth. It may be different periods and pockets of my life. You know what I mean? And not thinking that I'm some person that's so important or have gone through so much to where like my life need to be an example. You know what I mean? But like I said, to me, I believe it will help me and it may help somebody else. So that's what I'll be doing. And of course, I'll be talking about, not just my childhood, prison, after release, stuff like that, but, my children, family, religion, politics, all these type of things. I'll be talking about it, and and people will be allowed to come up and chime in, tap in, or whatever, say what they want to say, give their opinions, and maybe share some things that's going on with them or their experience. You know what I mean? So I had one of my partners call me earlier though, and he was like, "Bro, who was that little baby on that picture?" I was like, "Bro, that's me." I was like, I think like my third birthday party or something like that. You know what I mean? It was in New York at that time. It was in the Bronx. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was a picture of me at my third birthday party. My grandmother, God bless her soul. You probably hear a lot about her, man, because that was my heart. You know what I mean? Like she was everything to me, and I was incarcerated when she passed away. A number of years ago, man, and even to this day, I haven't gotten over that. You know what I mean? I don't think I ever will get over that. You know what I mean? And I can just think about her, and it just like now, just talking about her, it brings tears to me, man. It hurts me because that was my heart. But let me get off of that. Let me get off of that. But yeah, I told him that's my third. What's up? I'm so Southside. But yeah, then he was like, bro, why you name it from the cradle to the grave? You know what I'm saying? You ain't even dead, So I kind of laughed about it or whatever. But I was explaining to him, man, that that when I mean to the grave, bro, like basically I'm dead to I'm a walking in I'm a man that has gone through so much, and feel like in certain aspects I've wasted so much. Of course, time, in relationships, not seeing my children grow up or not even having one of my children. You know what I mean? All these type of things, and but now I've reached a point since I've been in society, you had to be somewhat hardened while you're incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? But I was already hardened before incarceration. Like I said, we'll get into that. I was hardened as, I'm 52, about to be 53 years old. So I got a good 47 years of memories. You know what I mean? That's the type of child I was. I can remember all the way back to I was at least 6 years old. You know what I mean? I love you too, Queen. I love you too. And I can remember back all the way to 6 years old. So I was kind of hardened before that, before my incarceration as a teenager. You know what I mean? And of course, all my children were born before my incarceration. And I was in my late teens when I went to prison, and I already had 5 children. You know what I'm saying? One that I didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? But eventually found after I got out. But of course, we get into that and. Let me add you to the stage. I gotta remember how to do this. I
I'm
ain't
here for support, Daddy. Go ahead.
all right. Appreciate you. You on my shit now, so goddamn, I'll be muting you and all type of stuff.
Don't do me like that, Dad. Go ahead.
This is my safe zone. Ain't no gotta be unbiased over here. Strictly biased. Them
Okay, Daddy. I'm on mute.
gorillas right there. Yeah. So it's understood. But yeah. So my partner was asking me about that, what I meant by to the grave. You understand what I'm saying? And I was explaining to him, man, that like, bro, you only know me, you know, as an adult because, during incarceration, I may have used my influence or whatever to protect you, make sure you made it through your time. You understand what I'm saying? So you see me as that person, you understand what I'm saying? But you don't know the totality of what I've gone through. And I'm not saying like I'm special, I'm different. I know people go through a lot in this world. People going through a whole lot more than me. All I'm just here is to talk about my experiences. And but I told him, I'm basically dead, man, to expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm dead to seeing the inherent good in people, man. You know what I'm saying? And this may seem harsh and it shouldn't be like that, you know what I mean? But it's just how I am now. I'm dead to expectations or seeing the inherent good in people. I'm dead to relationships, whether they personal or family or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily a good thing, but I'm acknowledging it's an abnormality to it, you know what I mean? But living where we live and go through what we go through, what's normal, you know what I mean? When we live in a society, you know, it prioritizes, unnatural over the natural. So it's like I'm just dead to it all. You know what I mean? I'm just right now. I'm just a person here. You understand what I'm saying? Mentally and emotionally to everything here, I'm dead to it. So that's why I explained to him about the grave. You know what I mean? Nah, Joe, so blessed. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm just protecting my feelings. You understand what I'm saying? But at some point, you no longer feel anything. You know what I mean? And that's sad. Man, hopefully no one else would get to this point in their life to where you no longer feel anything. You know what I mean? And that's not normal. That's not natural. That's why, you'll hear time to time people hear me say, yeah, fuck all that, and get straight to whatever it is that gotta be dealt with. You understand what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I don't like feeling like this or thinking like this or whatever. But at the same time, it's just who I have become. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I can't say I lost empathy or even sympathy, but it's just it's just where I am in my life. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think society as a whole is at that point. You know what I mean? So that's why I explained to him about what I mean, the grave, man. Because right now, only thing that keeps me basically alive, I guess you could say, is my spirituality or my belief system that helps me understand this world that I live in. But no longer do I feel attached to it in a sense that like I said, I have expectations, far as society, far as people, you know what I mean, and all these other things. So that's what I meant by from the cradle to the grave, going through my life. You know what I mean? So yeah. So this wasn't gonna be about basically a bunch of freestyling, just talking. Man, people have questions or whatever. I try to be an open book, because nowadays, there's anything you want to find out about an individual, it's not hard to find. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no need to hide anything or anything of that nature, so people can feel free to ask me any type of questions, And one second here. I forget how to operate this damn thing sometimes. I'm trying to get this off of here. But yeah, basically, that's why I am. I'm just going to be going down through a lot of things. It may be something that happened today, maybe something that happened in the Mo3 sector, happened on my daughter's panel or anything of that nature. And I may just pull up on my own stuff and just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But so what do you think about that approach, Queen? Or are you more interested in going into some details about certain things or questions you may have or what have you?
Whatever make you feel comfortable. We open book anyway. We don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
control it. Use it against us, whatever you feel is comfortable. I think you should do a Q&A because a lot of people feel like You behave like this because you're dad. You didn't fucking raise me. Like, what the?
Yeah.
It may be in my blood, but you didn't, you know what I'm saying? You let your daughter do this and that. I'm 36. What can he do? The hell? Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah. Your sister said, Daddy, you really hurt my feelings when you say you don't feel. Well, I think I would
Said that when I said that before too.
I think that it would hurt you more if I lied. You understand what I'm saying? If I lied, it would hurt you more. And I don't know, maybe we have different understandings of feelings. You know what I mean? Like normally if I had a pattern in my life of if I'm in my feelings and something is affecting me emotionally, I do something. You know what I mean? I'll do something. And it always ended badly. You know what I mean? It either end up with me in jail, incarcerated, somebody hurt, beat up, something of this nature. You know what I mean? So it's just within this last few years, man, I've learned to basically turn those feelings off to where it affects me emotionally. So let's maybe not feeling is a bad word. I take those feelings and make it go to my mind instead of my emotions. If that's a better way to explain it, you understand what I'm saying? So maybe
Yeah.
that's a better way to explain it. Because before I would just react off of those feelings and how it hurt my emotions, and not necessarily even think about the consequences. And that's just something that I no longer can do. And then, just right now, in general, man, there's so many, like I was saying, dead to expectations. You know what I'm saying? You look at people and you have certain expectations based off of the extent of how you feel or think about them, but it's not always reciprocated, and it's always a letdown, a letdown, a letdown. You understand what I'm saying? So at some point, I have to say I can no longer take letdowns because I'm not making any progress mentally, emotionally, you know what I mean, and even physically in life by continuous letdowns. So at some point, I had to shut that down. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. How you said that in Karma Red, a Libra was shut down also. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a Libra, October the 1st. You understand what I'm saying? So at some point I had to weigh what's more important on those Libra scales, man. My sanity, my ability to at least maintain some type of life in a life that, I don't see really going nowhere as far as society concerned and all these type of things, or just crash all the way out, behind feelings and emotions and things of that nature. So yeah, that's where I am at. But like this probably won't even be a long live, but just an introduction, just to explain the direction I'm gonna go with this. If anybody have any questions, they want to hit the link or whatever, they can hit the link, and we can just go from there. It was something that I wanted to say, I forgot it, but I don't know. We'll get to it. What you got on your mind? She probably on the phone or something. What simply just you harden yourself, and it me or does the audio keep going out? I don't know. Does the audio keep going out? Let me see. Well, it may be the audio because I see it keeps flickering. I don't know why this laptop does this, but it does this. You know. Salute 318 made Texas paid. A Libra like my brother remind me a lot of him. Okay, I'm so Southside. But yeah, like I say, I'm here for it all. You know what I mean? This will be the place like if I'm on some bullshit, I'm on some bullshit. You know what I mean? Because I call myself all the time, and I hate it. I call myself all the time, and I think we discussed it on 88 Pounder one time, man, like a walking contradiction. Because at times you just think that like you're supposed to be like this, but you always find yourself doing something else. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is where all these contradictions would come out. You know what I mean? So Mina said, "Okay, here's my question." Minnie. I keep saying Mina. God damn, Minnie. My bad, Minnie. All right, I'm waiting on it. I ain't say anything. And look, let me say this. I ain't. I think to a certain extent, my daughters, 88, and as y'all know, Lucky CB, they're how can I say that? What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, popularity, for lack of better words, has always put in light on me. You understand what I'm saying? It's some form of fashion. The spotlight would come on me. You know what I mean? Whether or not it's, my interactions with them, you know what I mean? Whether or not I can stop them from what they say or stop them from what they do, you know what I mean? Me getting into their beefs or whatever. So I don't think that I'm special by getting on here and say, let me tell you about me type shit. You know what I mean? But it's just that I felt that it's time that I do tell you about me. You know what I mean? Because they're not necessarily a reflection of me all the time, and I'm not necessarily a reflection of them. So many question is, if this is too personal, difficult, you don't have to answer them. How's your relationship with your siblings? Do you see the similarities with the relationships your children have with one another? Uh, Relationship with my siblings. I'm gonna tell you this. When I got incarcerated, let me see. I had a brother that was 3 years younger than me. I got incarcerated. Yeah, he was 3 years younger than me, so he was about like 15, maybe around that age. I had a brother that was, if he was 15, my other brother was like 8. Then I had a sister that was 5. Then I had a sister that was like 2. You understand what I'm saying? So there was a major age gap there. You know what I'm saying? There was a major age gap there. And being gone out of their lives for 25 years, you don't expect to have, that brother or sister type, brother, brother sister type relationship when you get out. Me, myself, I expected it based off of the simple fact that we all shared or came from the same womb. You know what I mean? But I didn't understand how being gone that length of time was so damaging to that type of relationship, family type relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So I had expectations of, look, everything is fine. We brothers and sisters, this, that, and another. Never thinking or understanding how they may really have felt about me, especially my sister that was like 2 years old. Like, I'm a total stranger. So when I get out, I parole to my mother's house, which my baby sister was living there. And imagine her living there with her child for however many years she had been there, and all of a sudden a stranger moves in. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is my brother, but I don't know him. You know what I mean? Like, she's 27 years old at the time. I don't know him. So it was like, of course, I embraced my nephew or whatever, look forward to him getting out of school every day because I hadn't been around children or anything. So the little thing, whatever he wanted, uncle there, trying to be there, all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And but eventually she couldn't tolerate or deal with the fact that I was there. So she moved out. You know what I'm saying? She moved out. And that hurt me, you know what I mean? Because I was like, what did I do? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't, I'm just there, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be here. I just got out of penitentiary. I got an ankle monitor. I got one of those
Can I try?
GPS. Huh?
Sorry, can I chime in sometimes? If I would have known that, then me and my kids would have moved in with you so you wouldn't have to feel alone.
Yeah, yeah. But maybe after a few months, you know what I mean? I got out in December of 2017. I want to say maybe around April of 2018. Salute, OG Bobby Johnson.
Hey, Bobby, baby.
So hey, we ain't doing all that over here.
I'm sorry, Dad.
So yeah, she moved out, you know, man, and it bothered me, man, because it was good to have, people around me in the house. So now I'm living in this big old house, like in by myself. There's still a state of paranoia from being in society and haven't really been anywhere because I'm on this monitor. I can't go anywhere. Every day, every day not every day, uh, every 2 weeks on a Wednesday, I have to go report, and they give me this piece of paper, and I have to fill that piece of paper out, telling them what I'm going to do every single day, what time, 8 o'clock. I want to take the trash out in the morning on Fridays. Uh, uh, you know, no going nowhere on the weekends. You can't dock the door on the weekends, period. But during the week, they would allow me to go out and do certain things. and I'll put down, I want to go to Walmart at 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that. There was nothing I could do for fun or anything of that nature. I was on what you call a super intensive parole supervision, something of that nature. Like, after doing all of that time, they still put the clamps on me when I got out. You know what I mean? So, and I stayed on that for 18 more months. After doing it 25 years, I stayed on that for 18 more months. You know what I mean? But then around, if I want to say the 16th month, they start saying, okay, now you can go out from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. So now I'm finally, able to go out. I went and took my, test for a driver license and failed it the first time and had to go back, take it again and all that. But, now I got a car, that was given to me and I was able to go out. So I would go to a movie or something to make sure I'm back at 10 and stuff like that. But anyway, that's another story about, life right after incarcerated. But as far as my relationship with my siblings, that was just one example of my younger sister. And even to this day, we don't talk, we don't do anything of that nature. Then I got another sister, which y'all may already know or whatever. You know what I mean? And I was locked away for an additional, 18 months. Joe so blessed. Another sister, y'all may know on this app, and all everything that has gone on with her, my daughter, and all this old type of stuff here. I mean, at some point, everything was good. You know what I mean? But of course, now I've learned at this age, man. I guess nothing lasts forever. You understand what I'm saying? So, and there's a lot that goes into, I think, where things went wrong with her and I. Understand what I'm saying? And a lot of it includes, my child. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is my child. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a hard decision to make. This is my child. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna choose my nieces and nephews over me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna choose my daughter over you. If I can't bring about some type of peace or reconciliation from situation, then okay, it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's more we'll get into on more of these lives. You understand what I'm saying? And now my other brother in New York, like, he's just in New York. You know what I mean? He'll call me, I'll call him or whatever, ain't no problem or whatever. And then my other brother, he was of the age when I left. I can remember at my trial after being found guilty, they took a recess, being found guilty. And this was my little brother, like, I taught him how to fight and, everything with, I'm out in the streets, but when I go over to my mom's house or whatever, I bring the streets to him type shit. You know what I mean? Not saying that it's right, you know what I mean? But I'll bring the streets to him, you know. And so he was really, really affected by, my incarceration. So like I was saying, I can remember I got found guilty and it was like 12 o'clock. I had a week-long trial, got found guilty. It was like 12 o'clock and they took a recess, and judge said be back like by 1. So, I went to my mother's house during that recess, not knowing what I'm facing, you know what I mean? As far as, not knowing that, what type of time I'm gonna get. So I go there and I can remember walking in and him finding out that I was found guilty, man. And at this time, I could just see him, fall on the bed crying. I told him be gone for a minute, whatever. You know what I mean? And I think that shift, for me being there for him and me leaving has affected us to this day. You know what I mean? The hurt, the pain, the anger, all these things like, how could you leave me type shit, you know what I mean? And I had to go through this, that, and another with you being gone, basically being a father figure and a brother at the same time. So our relationship has been, it's been kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't even sought to repair it, you know what I mean? Because at this point, I don't trust people true feelings deep down inside. People say one thing and they really feel some type of way. So I have a lot of distrust when it comes to that type of thing. So I haven't sought to even repair it, on top of some other things that have taken place between us. But so you can say basically my relationship with my siblings are basically non-existent right now. You know what I mean? I really don't have a lot of relationships at all outside of shit, man. Like my daughters, you know what I mean? Outside of my daughters, I got 2 sons, You know what I mean? But we good. Don't get me wrong. But I prayed and did whatever I could on a spiritual level, even physically, man, to try to keep them out of the penitentiary and stuff like that. And all praise be to the Creator. They they got lives, they got families, they married, they living their lives, and that's all I could ask for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't seek to bother them with anything. You know what I mean? See them from time to time when I can make it to go see my grandkids. Things of that nature. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as when it comes to siblings, man, I can't say I have any type of relationship with my siblings at this moment. But that was a good question. I appreciate that. Oh, the second part was, do you see similarities with the relationships your children have with one another? Uh, yeah, very similar. Based off of what I just told you, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can see, my children have, these tumultuous type relationship, but not even like you can't include my sons in any of this, man. My sons get along with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? My sons get along with everybody. And then you take Lucky or Simply Charity, whatever, you take her, she's basically, you know, where I am, far as okay, this is my sister, this is my sister, you know what I mean? I love them both. So she has her separate relationship here, she has a separate relationship, here, you know what I mean? And but it's just those two, and y'all know the two I'm talking about. It's just those two, and a lot is taking place in that. You know what I mean? Did I try to stop those things from happening in the beginning when I used to get calls on lives with both of them on to talk about pulling up? Anybody that know the history know. I was like, all right, where y'all gonna meet at? Because I'm gonna beat both of y'all asses. People can remember back to those days. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah. So it's just those two, man. It's just those two. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm at the point with that. I don't want them to fix it. I think it's already fixed. I think it's where it is, and just leave it where it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's where I am with that. So hopefully that answers your question, Minnie, about my siblings as well as my children.
Let's see here. Okay, Miss Nia said you're her favorite. That's your girl. Okay, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Do you ever feel like going to jail might have saved your life?
Uh, Save my life. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because before incarceration, don't get me wrong, you know, I had did things or whatever, and some things, I'm not going to talk about, it has no statute of limitation. But I have did things and been in situations where my life hadn't been taken. So I probably feel like, hell, I could have kept on that route. That was the ego. You understand what I'm saying? I could have kept on like that and still would have been good. You know what I mean? So but I can say this, as far as the physical, I wasn't even worried about that. But how it saved my life is me growing into understanding, growing into a man, developing some type of spirituality. Because my mission was, as soon as I got incarcerated, I was tired. I was literally tired at that age. You know what I mean? I'm young, 18 years old. I was tired. Like I had been through, as far as I can remember, 12 years of, was New York, Virginia, come down here to Texas, I'm basically by myself. You know what I'm saying? Just all the type of stuff. I was tired. So and I had always been book smart, you know what I mean? Book smart, like to read, would go to like my dates, I had little girlfriends or whatever. Well, you want to go on a date? We're going to the library. You check out a book because I got some things I want to look into. And we get books and go back to the house or whatever, and I'm reading this book. You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of guy I was. You know what I mean? So, but so when I got incarcerated, one of my main things was I was tired, but I wanted to know some things, man. It's like this stuff is not adding up. Why am I like this? You know what I mean? But I'm also very smart. You know what I mean? In school, I'm the type of straight A student. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time I get the homework, I know I gotta hit the streets. So I'm knocking the homework out before I even get out of school. Cause when I get out of school, I gotta hit these goddamn streets. You know what I mean? I got kids. You see what I'm saying? I got needs and wants as well. It was that type of thing, you know what I mean? And I ended up going to college. You know what I mean? Well, I got in some trouble, you know what I mean? Got kicked out of school, and then went back to school to get the credits that I need, and still got accepted in a D1 school. You know what I'm saying? So I was very studious. At the same time, the other things in my life had shaped and molded me to survive. You know what I mean? Like, because my people won't have no type of money to get the things that I wanted, and I had these extra responsibilities of I got children. You know what I mean? I got children now, you know, and that baby mama that want things and, you know, all this type of shit. Plus the whole image of being a black man, you know, a black teen at that time in the crack era, you know, and the money is good and shit like that. So all of that, kind of played a role. So when I got incarcerated, I was just tired. So went on a mission to learn, you know what I mean? So I would start studying the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, Persians, and all these type of things. You know what I mean? I just wanted to know different things about history or whatever, and that led me into coming in contact with other guys that were incarcerated that was on that same type of path, and and we'll get into that, like the type of people that I met that set me on a journey that forever changed my life and saved my life. So from that perspective, yeah, it definitely saved my life.
Many. Is it hard giving all of your children the attention and love they need? How do you navigate that?
Oh, my bad, my bad. I was trying to mute my mic to do something.
Okay, Minnie said, is it hard to give all of your children the attention and love they need? How do you navigate that?
Well, uh, well, for one, I don't think I do enough. Enough, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, cause my sons will tell me all the time, like, bro, you know, we don't need nothing from you, man. You know what I mean? Just be there. If it's something we got going on special or whatever, just be there. You know what I'm saying? Like a birthday party or whatever, just be there. So with them, it's not difficult at all. You know what I mean? I try my best to be there. I've gotten better with that over the past couple of years, but I've had some challenges over the past couple of years, and we'll get into that. You know what I mean? I'm not the same one that was promoting shows and clubs, and I'm not that same person. So I had some challenges trying to just be there over the past couple of years. You know what I mean? But my sons, not so much. But my daughters, I'm always there for a phone. I'm a phone call away. Whatever time of night, morning, whatever. They know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not hard because I can focus on whatever it is that you have going on. I can focus on that. I can give my advice. I can listen to you. You understand what I'm saying? I can understand your feelings. You know what I mean? All these type of things. I can do all of that. At the same time, I can get on your ass too. You see what I'm saying? So it's not hard at all dealing with them individually. But the difficult part is how do they perceive the attention that I may be giving to one at this time or the other or the other. You know what I mean? That's the difficult part. You know what I mean? Because as a father, you don't want them feeling like that, one is better than the other, or whatever. But if one is talking to me more or calling me more or whatever it is, that's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not even talking about doing for or anything of that nature. That's just talking about the nature of communication. You know what I'm saying? And so the difficult part is just how it be perceived by them and whether or not that perception creates any type of friction between them to where mainly, I'm talking about CB and Queen, mainly to where how did that play into to where we are now in their relationship. You know what I mean? And honestly, I felt like that may have played a lot into it. You know what I mean? To where the extent that it's like, okay, fuck her. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this. Fuck how she feel. This, that, and another. You know what I'm saying?
Nia K, was your family there for you during your bid? If not, do you feel like you hold any resentment? Ooh, LSA got some good questions.
Uh, I'm gonna tell you this, and and I did have resentment for a minute, and I think it it forced me to survive, which I had always did. And and this is no slight or anything towards my mother or anything. I promise you, you know, when I got out, you know, she helped me. You understand what I'm saying? She helped me. But the day that I got convicted, you know, she had told me, and I don't know, my mother was, I don't know if she was strategic or just how she felt. She said, "Look, I'm not gonna do this time with you." You know what I'm saying? Like she literally told me that. She literally told me, "I'm not gonna do this time with you." You know what I mean? And it crushed me, bro. It crushed me because here I am. I'm in Texas because of you. You know what I'm saying? Because of you. I'm in Texas because of you. I could have been in New York. I could have been in Virginia with my dad, whatever. But I'm in Texas because of you. You know, true enough, you know, I got in some trouble or whatever. But if anybody that I believe is gonna be down with me and ride this shit out, you understand what I'm saying? It's you. And so to tell me the day of, I'm not gonna do this time with you, it crushed me. So I held a lot of resentment. But at the same time, it forced me to try to figure out, okay, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? What am I gonna do? You know, I'm here in Texas. You know, I got children out there. You know, the person I felt like is gonna stay down with me. I don't know what I'm facing. You know, and there's a whole story to why I end up doing 25 years instead of the 18 months to 3 years that I was supposed to do. You know, but that's another story. Uh, So yeah, that crushed me. I held some resentment for a long, long time. You know what I mean? But you know, my son's mother, even my daughter's mother, you know, Lucky and their mother, you know what I mean? In the beginning, they were real, real good. But my son's mother, man, like, damn, bro, she held me down the whole 25. Well, let's say, yeah, the whole 25, man. I can't lie. You know what I mean? I can't lie. He held me down the whole 25, picking up my other daughters to come see me, you know what I mean, which are not even her children, money, you know, legal work, whatever it was, man. Wherever I went around the state of Texas, I went to like 13 different units, you know what I'm saying? But was housed really at probably about seven of those for extended period of time. And she stayed down with me the whole time, bro. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, I believe that part of my struggles now in life when it comes to relationships and things of that nature is because how I did her when I got out. You understand what I'm saying? It's because how I did her when I got out. But but part of me getting out and that happening is that I was overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like imagine you gone, you know, a quarter of a century and man, everything is new to me. You know what I mean? Like everything is new to me, you know, in deciphering what is what and who is who and having feelings and all of that stuff had been foreign to me for a very, very long time because of when I was incarcerated, you strictly in survival mode, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and we talk about that, man. You go through hell in that place. That's why I understand why guys keep going back. Bro. I don't get it. There's nothing nice about it. Nothing. And you go through hell in that place, man. And you constantly see yourself getting older and older. You know what I'm saying? And people are leaving and you know, your children are growing and you know, the letters are stopping and all of this, you know. So part of why, you know, I believe I did what I did to her, you know what I mean? And hurt her the way that I did. It wasn't strictly out of nothing malicious or anything of that nature. It was just man, I was trying to find my way out here. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I was led by desires more so than my intellect. You know what I mean? So, yeah, yeah. But other than that, I don't have any resentment towards anybody else because they were kids. You know what I'm saying? They were kids. My you know my brothers and sisters or whatever. Like they were kids. I couldn't expect them to you know, try to stay down or even think about me as they got older and begin to have their own kids, anything of that nature. You know, so but any resentment I had during incarceration, it was towards my mother. But you know, I had long gotten over that because even while I was incarcerated, you know, I could write home and hey, can you send me this book or that book? You know, she sent me money, you know, and of course I had my grandmother. You know, money was guaranteed on a certain date every single month the whole time until she passed away, or until she got too old to where she couldn't do those things. Then I had my grandfather, you know what I mean, who recently passed away like a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And on the 10th of every single month, I can expect $100. So those two were like staples the entire time that I was incarcerated. You know what I mean? So no, I really didn't have any type of resentment.
All right. Many. Regarding your bid, we all know you can't be a punk inside and have to turn your emotions off to survive. Have you considered that you still have that same mentality, which is why you are emotionally numb?
Uh, Believe it or not, guys are more emotional in the penitentiary than out here. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's just how you let those emotions out and who you trust enough to express them or let them out to. You understand what I'm saying? But guys are very, very emotional. Uh, that's incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So I think out here shutting me down more than in there because you find people that look, man, we experiencing deaths. Mothers are dying. You understand what I'm saying? Children are dying. Grandmothers. We are experiencing deaths in there, man. And you can't hold that in. You need somebody. You need somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? And you're not going to the prison chaplain or whatever. You're going to talk to that guy that's in the trenches with you. You know what I mean? Because it's blacks here, Mexicans over here, whites over here. You know what I mean? If it's a riot or whatever it is, we all know we got to rock with each other no matter where we at. Especially they send you down to the valley where it's majority Mexicans and the guards are Mexican. You understand what I'm saying? So these guys become your family. You know what I mean? They become your family. So you can be emotional or whatever around them. You know what I mean? You can express whatever to them and vice versa. You know what I mean? But it was out here that you don't have that outlet. You know what I mean? Whether you betrayed or the trust is betrayed or, or somebody showed you another side to them or whatever, it was out here more so that made me like shut that off. It wasn't incarceration. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, Nia, what was the biggest lesson you learned from doing time?
Uh, the biggest lesson, man, I learned so many lessons. Ah, man, what was the biggest lesson? And I never really even thought about it as far as the biggest lesson or anything of that nature. I don't even know. I don't even know if I learned the lesson. I mean, outside the obvious, don't commit any crimes. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I don't like being incarcerated. You know what I mean? So if anything, I learned that, when they say crime don't pay, literally, it doesn't pay. You know what I mean? So that probably was the biggest lesson. But I also learned that as people out here in society, man, especially as black men, bro, like we're missing something. You know what I mean? We're missing something. And prison basically helped me find that was missing. For lack of better words, we're missing something. These guys you see walking around, whatever they're doing or whatever, they hollow, man. They're missing something, and so the biggest lesson I learned is that, something is missing, man. Something is missing, but it can be found. And hopefully it's not behind some, barbed wire and cages, you know what I mean? Salute Helen Hill. But yeah, we missing something, man. And that's why, I told my daughter, she brought it up yesterday. Like one of the things I told her, and she always remembered, was that when you look at people, you got to look at them like you can't just see their physical. You got to realize you're talking to their soul. You're talking to a walking soul there. You know what I mean? And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not always good at recognizing that soul. I can just only hear it and see what I see and react off of that. So I may trip out sometimes. But majority of the time, I try to see any individual, regardless of their race or social status, homeless, or whatever, I see a soul. So when I talk to them or if I do anything for them, I try to see that part of them. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah. Anyway, anything else?
Uh, Coolin said, "Can did any of the inmates or anything have relations with the guards? Meaning, did they bring in things to help y'all and stuff like that? Could y'all lean on the guards or?"
uh, of course, that goes on. You know what I mean? That goes on, but it doesn't goes on. It doesn't go on as much as people think. You know what I mean? Like you really have to have something about you. You have to have, as we say, incarcerated, an immaculate conversation. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be able to tell her something that nobody else, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 men around can tell her. You understand what I'm saying? Like, cause she
Mhm.
gonna hear it all. You know, she gonna hear it all. So you got to be able to tell her something that all these other guys can't tell her. Then spending time with her is a factor. How are you gonna get time to even develop that type of relationship? You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of factors that play into it. But myself, I had a few while I was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? And it basically came from me putting myself strategically in position to where I know that okay, I'm gonna pull me one of them, so I got to get this type of job. You know what I mean? Some type of job where we in close confines working together type shit. You understand what I'm saying? And then in which majority of the time that's the commissary or the library or the infirmary or something of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? So I would always go and get me a job in the commissary. Once I got put on, you know what I mean, my one of my partners put me on working in the commissary. So that's on my job record. So wherever I go, they may try to put me work in the kitchen or whatever, but I'm always go to the commissary and ask like, man, y'all need a worker, da da da. And finally, when they need a worker, they'll ask whoever, hey, we want to hire him. Now I'm in close confines, you know what I mean? So sitting back, figuring out who is who, what guy that works in there, been there a minute, he already got power, you know what I mean? All this type of things. You know what I'm saying? And gradually work my way in until I find me one, you know what I mean? And work by her and have those conversations. And of course she's going through things at home, and she don't have an outlet. She can't talk to her husband or a boyfriend, and they don't understand or whatever. And she's looking down on you anyway. What can you do? You're a prisoner. You just somebody that can sit there and listen to her. You know what I'm saying? You don't know shit. Okay, I wrap it up. All right, I wrap it up. My bad, my bad.
Yeah, wrap that up. We get it. That all right. Um, we don't need to go into why you were incarcerated, but how do you control your anger? Have you gone to counseling of some kind?
Well, I think I went to some counseling, but they were more intrigued by my story than counseling me. I'm like, shit, I ain't getting nothing out of it. You know what I mean? Like, damn, what? Tell me something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yeah, they were more intrigued by my story, my life, or whatever than counseling. Well, at least what I expected out of counseling. Then they try to give me all these medications and shit. I'm like, hold up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't do that. You know what I mean? I deal with my issues or whatever myself. I don't need to be medicated. How the hell I'm gonna make money if I'm on these pills all damn day and can't move and sleeping and shit? You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? So, nah, from that perspective, counseling was very ineffective. You know what I'm saying? But listen, one thing, here's another thing. Nothing is off limits. You know what I mean? Nothing is off limits. This is Farrago from the cradle to the grave. No topic, question about why I went to prison, and nothing is off limits. You saying because anything it can be easily found. You know what I'm saying? It can be easily found. So I don't care about that. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. Yeah, but hell, I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, counseling, yeah, it wasn't that effective as far as counseling is concerned. But the way I started dealing with my anger, and mind you, it's been in the past couple of years that I've learned to deal with my anger. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized that, bro, I'm not angry really at that individual or that person or whatever. I'm really angry at myself. I had so many high expectations of myself and I feel like I failed myself, and the consequences I'm feeling those that I care about, my children, my grandchildren, so on and so forth. So I stopped lashing out in anger, man, and channeling that anger, more so to thinking and figuring out how I can be an asset more so than just, showing these emotions and things of that nature.
Okay. Once again, Nia. Well, I just want you to know it's not your fault for the way 88 acts, and stop the gentle parenting with her and put your foot up her ass. All right, next statement here.
Well, you know, look. See, I think that would be that would be not taking accountability. You know what I mean? As a parent in general, and all of you probably are parents. You understand what I'm saying? That would be not taking accountability or responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't meet 88 until she was practically 30 years old, you know what I mean? In 2018, I always felt like, damn, I should have pushed harder, bro. Because when I had heard before I got incarcerated that, her mother, we both were young. I think I was maybe like 15, she was 14, or 13 and 14. You know what I mean? And I heard that, some of y'all have heard the story before. I had heard from a friend of mine's grandfather that was good with the family that, she had a baby. Because me and her, like, we weren't in a relationship. It was some me still in the car driving 15 miles away, you know what I mean, at that age, at 1 or 2 in the morning, you know what I mean, to go link up with her type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that young and she's that young. Her mama at work at night type shit. So I was still my mama call, get the keys, push it out of the driveway. And she had one of them cars, it was a New Yorker. That a lot of cars didn't talk back then, but her car talked. A door is ajar, so I had to be real quiet. You understand what I'm saying? And push the car to the street, jump in, start it up, and I shoot over there and spend a few hours, with her mother. So, and I had developed feelings for her because we had always talked on the phone a lot. I think I had met her in church somewhere. We always talked on the phone, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She's very beautiful. You know what I mean? Fine in the motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? All that shit. So we wasn't just in a relationship to where we're around each other every day and dating or whatever, because she lived in a whole nother town. And but a friend of her family had told me that she had a baby, and I was like, okay, I'm still young. This probably what was I, like 15 when he told me this? Yeah, I think I was like 15 when he told me this, and I was like, okay. But I felt like I should have pressed more about asking them, like, but mind you, I'm caught up in the streets. I already got what at this time, I think I got, it's just my son, my oldest son at this time, and a possible another daughter, which, I haven't brought her up. You know what I mean? But so I felt like I should have pressed more. I should have contacted her to figure out, like, look, I'm hearing you had a baby by me type shit. You understand what I'm saying? But mind you, at this point, 88 has told the story. She's already given up, for adoption. You know what I'm saying? But I never inquired about it with her mother when I was told that. But it always stuck in my mind because he had told me, she had a little boy. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, I'm in these streets, mind going fast and all this type of stuff. And I just didn't inquire about it. So I feel like, if I would have inquired and found out and could have got my daughter, how different things could have been. There's no doubt my grandmother would have been like, what? You know what I mean? We would have got my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So to some extent, I take responsibility and accountability for that. You know what I mean?
Alrighty.
And what's wrong with you? The way they talking about how you turn out, like,
I think I'm wonderful,
yeah.
according to Minnie. Now, Nia, I don't think she feels the same here. Okay, Nia said, have you ever thought about mentoring?
When I got out, I had contacted some places, because I was really on that, man. We got to save these kids from going down there, man. And I contacted some places or whatever. But what was crazy, it was that the fact that I had been in the prison stopped me from mentoring or stopped them from, letting me mentor or whatever. Is the fact that I had been in prison, which I found to be very strange. You're trying to prevent them from going somewhere that I've already been. Who better to talk to them than the person that's been there? You understand what I'm saying? And not just going down there on all right, all right, all right, love you. Uh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like shit, I would be one of the best people to talk to these kids, but they wouldn't allow me to, and as time went on, I got into this promoting thing and all of that. So the mentoring idea just kind of like went out the window. But I do when I do encounter young guys or whatever that may listen or whatever do, I still tell them things. I prevented a lot of things like in the heat of a moment type thing. I mean, youngsters coming in there with choppers ready to shoot up the whole club because he's drunk and in his feelings or whatever. And I stop him, man. You know what I mean? Taking a risk to him even shooting me. You understand what I'm saying? I stop him and I tell him my story and I listen to him. And majority of them, they hurt, their mama, their daddy ain't around, so on and so forth. And I would be able to mentor them at least for that moment and get them from trying to kill everybody in the damn club.
Right.
Yeah.
All righty here. Okay, now the Pisces 888 said, I don't know if you answered this question, but do you regret coming into the sector and dealing with the drama that comes with it?
Not at all. You know what I mean? Not at all. For the simple fact, there's a lot of things that I want to know. You know what I mean? Like far as with the demise of three, there's a lot of things I want to know and checking out, Ratchet and Skull and what I mean, the other different content creators, and then my daughter become the content creator and all this type of stuff, and so I don't regret it. No, I don't regret it at all. Do I regret some of the things that I may have said? You know what I mean? No, I don't regret it, but I do feel like I shouldn't have said it or what have you. But a lot of times, it's, under you know, drinking alcohol, intoxication, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I don't regret it. We do these same type of things when you're incarcerated. You're gonna debate and argue about the smallest shit, football game, or what I mean, different hoods or rappers or whatever. So this is what we do. We argue, we scratch. You know what I mean? For all that time I was incarcerated, that's what we do. So this is nothing new to me. You know what I mean?
Nia K, God dog. 88 be allowing these folks to disrespect you, and I don't like it.
I don't think I've been disrespected. You know what I mean? At all, except one thing, bro. You know what I mean? And that's that shit Brandon said, bro. That was total disrespect. I can take anything else, bro. That was the one thing I felt like I was greatly disrespected, man, and something that ain't even in my character, bro. Like you understand what I'm saying? The implications or whatever, what you're saying about me, that's the only thing that has ever disrespected me and affected me. Anything else, anybody say this and that, I don't give a damn. But when he put that narrative out there, that lie out there, bro, that was total disrespect. You know what I mean? That was total disrespect. And and even for my daughter to go along with it in this recent incident or whatever, you know what I mean? That doubled the disrespect. And that's something that until you tell the damn truth, bro, w- w- there's no turning back. There's no turning back. There's no turning back.
Mm. Okay.
Well, we've been on here about an hour. I ain't gonna stay on here much longer. I'm gonna wrap it up. Uh, but yeah, of course, like I said, this will be where I'll be coming to. You know what I mean? Y'all like, share, subscribe. If you think of any questions, for the next time or whatever, it's all good. And I'm gonna go down through there because, like I said, I believe that in some form of fashion, our children are a reflection of us, and y'all get to see the lives of my children quite frequently, man. You know what I mean? Like at least three of my daughters, y'all get to see their lives quite frequently in this Mo 3 sector. You know what I mean? So I think understanding my life and the role that it may have played in their lives can help you better understand them. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll be going through a whole lot, man. You know what I mean? Of the life of FARRAGO. I appreciate y'all tapping in. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, Queen, coming up here, and I don't know how to do all this shit by myself. And yeah. Anything else you want to say or anything?
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Oh, and I have one more. And hit the cash app if you don't mind. If you want to donate, it's FARRAGO Corey, FARRAGO Corey. Help him get that damn phone he's been asking for. Also, I'm gonna tell you one time only. You will not disrespect my man. This is about to be your son-in-law next year, and I love him so dearly.
You know what? And I mean no disrespect.
I'm just playing that.
I would be coming over to my own shit and say what I want to say about this nigga. And I got a lot to say. I ain't got to worry about getting dropped and none of that. I just come here and I tell him, me and you, how I feel about it.
I got my own shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess close it on out.
All right. I love you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Salute to everybody that attended. Thank you, everyone. Also, shout out to LSA. Nia, stay off my ass. I love you, Minnie. Bye.
Again, like I said, I appreciate everybody that tapped in, and y'all have a good evening. Y'all be safe out here. There's a lot going on in this society. And, from time to time, I'll be dabbling in that. Y'all go follow, go subscribe to my other channel, Racist Entertainment 1999, where I normally cover a lot that's going on affecting Black people in this country. And y'all got to stay vigilant out here. There's a lot going on, bro. And, I don't, not necessarily for myself, you know what I mean? But for my people, bro. I just want y'all to pay attention, man. There's a lot going on. Some people don't have time to pay attention to what's going on, but I do. You know what I mean? My kids say I focus on it too much, but what's more important than our livelihood and our safety out here? You know what I'm saying? So y'all just be vigilant, and the devil is at work. But again, I appreciate everybody. Joe So Blessed, Nia, Minnie, everybody that tapped in with me, man. It's truly a blessing, man, to have people that, want to hear your story, maybe get something from it, ask questions or whatever. And like I said, I'm an open book. All y'all got to do is ask the questions, and that'll be it. I'll answer them. So y'all be safe and enjoy y'all night. Peace.
If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live through these flows and these pictures when I post, cause who knows? If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live like a G and I pray constantly, watch me please. I might die tonight, I do my thing. I rip and run these streets and I deal with these freaks. Hey, if I die tonight, I did my thing. Next might be my turn, but you live and you learn. If I die tonight, I did my thing.
I thank God for my blessings. I thank God for my struggle. These bills gon' keep on coming, so I thank God for my hustle, man. I thank God for my daughter. Lord knows I love that smile. So I don't deal with these niggas till they got bread to feed my child. And some of my partners say that I'm changing, but I'm that same old Frost. The difference is I got mouths to feed, so I just can't take no loss. And nowadays it get hectic, wars and rumors of wars. So if I die tonight, I just pray the Lord let me through them doors. Cause real talk, I'll be on it. No sleep till I reach my peak. My people don't eat till I hit these streets. Real niggas get reached when I'm on these beats and I'm on these sweets. And I'm on it. Cause I be so tired of all of this stress. Sometimes I ride and picture my death and think if I've strived to be at my best. Cause that's what's left. Your legacy, not your life. So you can't tell me it's not my right to get on this mic and show you my light. Oh, that's too bright. Well, I don't need fortune, I don't need fame. Long as I die, you know my name. Then
if I die tonight, I did my thing. I live through these flows and these pictures when I post, cause who knows? If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live like a G and I pray constantly, watch me please. I might die tonight, I do my thing. I rip and run these streets and I deal with these freaks. Hey, if I die tonight, I did my thing. Next might be my turn, but you live and you learn, you learn. If I die tonight, I did
I thank God for my failures. I thank God for success. I thank God for my job and this asshole to cut checks. I ask God to work on my patience. I got a bunch of not yets, so I just grind and I brace for the time and the place. I can show him that the nigga got next. Yeah, these niggas just dream. Me, I got this vision. No politics and religion, cause a bunch of gaps need bridging. They say rap need fixing. I never been the mechanic type, but I do know when the power goes out, you can sound with a little bit of candlelight. I can show you how to handle life. You can get it if I got it to give. Real talk, either chase your dreams or work for somebody that did. And never lie to your kids, man. Santa Claus and all. I respect my pops, he kept it real with me winter, summer, spring, and fall. That's why it's not a thing at all to put life in the flow for you. I'm a starving artist, far from starters, and I'm feeling like my time's overdue. But it's cool, it's cool. I don't need fortune, I don't need fame. Long as I die, you know my name. And
if I die tonight, I did my thing. Yeah. I live through these flows and these pictures when I post, cause who knows? If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live like a G, and I pray constantly. Watch me please. I might die tonight, I do my thing. I rip and run these streets, and I deal with these freaks, Hey, if I die tonight, I did my thing. Next might be my turn, but you live and you learn, you learn. If I die tonight, I did my thing. If I die tonight, I did my thing. I might die tonight, I do my thing. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. As I rip and run these streets, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I gotta get it, make it shake, and do it for my daughter's sake. Hey.